Ethan Caldwell, dressed in a sharp navy suit, walked confidently through the airport with his wife Naomi and their young son Caleb. Their excitement for the upcoming flight was palpable until they reached the first-class cabin, where everything took a sudden, unexpected turn. Samantha Reed, the flight attendant, couldn't shake the feeling that something was off as she watched the family settle in. Despite their pristine appearance and the confirmed first-class tickets, Samantha couldn't bring herself to believe they belonged there. What seemed like a simple verification quickly escalated into a tense confrontation. Ethan, calm but firm, could sense the injustice brewing. With every question Samantha asked, her uncertainty grew, and the passengers around them began to notice the awkward tension. But this wasn't just about a seating mistake. As Samantha attempted to humiliate them, she had no idea who Ethan truly was or the power he held. The real shock came when Ethan took matters into his own hands, silently preparing for the moment when the truth would be revealed. This was no ordinary family, and as the story unfolds, you'll discover how this moment would change Samantha's life forever. Ethan Caldwell had always carried himself with quiet confidence, a man accustomed to respect. His posture, the way he walked through the airport, the crisp navy suit, and the firm grip on his luggage all suggested someone who had mastered the art of moving through life with authority. Beside him, Naomi, elegant as ever, held the hand of their son Caleb, who was bouncing with excitement about their upcoming journey. The young boy, gripping a toy airplane, flitted from one thought to the next, unaware of the tensions about to unfold. They were ushered through the priority boarding line, and Ethan acknowledged the staff with a nod, his eyes scanning the surroundings with calm composure. The family made their way to the first-class cabin, where luxury was apparent: spacious seats, plush interiors, and a quiet ambience promising a peaceful journey. Naomi settled Caleb into his seat, smiling softly as her son continued to play with his toy. Ethan stowed their bags and took his own seat, his eyes briefly meeting Naomi's, a shared moment of contentment as they prepared for the flight. But just as peace seemed to settle, Ethan noticed a shift. His mind, always alert, picked up on the way Samantha Reed was looking at them. It wasn't an ordinary glance, but one laden with scrutiny. Her eyes flicked over their clothes, the way they carried themselves, assessing, trying to place them in a category they clearly didn't fit into. Ethan felt it, a prickling sense of discomfort, but he didn't let it show. Instead, he focused on his family, letting the unease slide off him like water on stone. It wasn't long before Samantha approached, her movements deliberate as she made her way toward them. There was a professionalism in her steps, but also something else, a rigidity that couldn't be masked by her practiced smile. She stood in front of their row and, with a tone that was far too clipped, addressed Ethan. "Excuse me, sir, may I see your boarding pass?" Ethan's eyes flicked up to meet hers, his expression calm, unhurried. He knew exactly what was coming, though he couldn't fully understand why. Naomi, sensing the tension, squeezed Caleb's hand tighter, her gaze sharp. She had seen this before, a quiet kind of prejudice wrapped in polite words. Ethan remained composed as he pulled the tickets from his jacket pocket and handed them over without a word. Samantha took them, scrutinizing them as though searching for an error, flipping them over in her hands, as if to confirm their validity. She furrowed her brow, lips pursed, and in that moment, Ethan knew the problem wasn't with the tickets. It was with him, or rather, with the fact that someone like him, someone who didn't meet her assumptions about first-class passengers, was sitting in one of those seats. "First class?" Samantha asked, her voice barely concealing disbelief. Ethan remained steady, his voice unwavering. "Yes. Is there a problem?" Her eyes flicked to the ticket once more, then back to him. Ethan felt a flash of irritation, just a flicker, quickly hidden behind his calm demeanor. He had been through this before, but the indignity of it never quite wore off. Samantha hesitated, her gaze faltering for a split second before she turned and walked away, muttering something about needing to confirm the reservation. Ethan watched her go, a silent calm settling over him. He didn't need to react. The system would confirm, what they already knew. But the feeling, the subtle yet unmistakable judgment, lingered in the air, tainting what should have been a peaceful flight. Naomi remained silent, but Ethan could feel her tension, her protective instincts kicking in for their son. The weight of her worry, not for herself, but for him. She knew this was about more than just a boarding pass. As Samantha spoke into her walkie-talkie, Ethan sat back in his seat, his fingers lightly drumming against the armrest. His mind was working, but outwardly he was calm. This wasn't the first time he had been tested in this way. His very presence seemed to challenge the assumptions others made. He had learned long ago to pick his battles, to wait for the right moment, but also to assert himself when necessary. This, however, felt different. It wasn't just about a misunderstanding. It was about something deeper, something that pushed against the fabric of who he was. Minutes dragged on, the tension palpable. Samantha returned, but this time, she wasn't alone. Olivia Hale, a younger flight attendant, walked beside her, noticing the strain in the air. She asked if everything was all right, but Ethan could already sense the shift. Olivia's glance towards Samantha said it all. This wasn't something she wanted to be part of. Ethan's voice remained calm as he explained the situation, his words laced with quiet authority. There's been a mistake. My reservation was confirmed, as you've already verified. If there's any issue, I would appreciate it being addressed directly. Samantha stiffened, clearly struggling to maintain control. Her eyes darted around the cabin, seeking something, anything, to justify escalating the situation further. But Ethan wasn't having it. He wasn't going to be intimidated. The thought of being pushed to the back of the plane because of some misplaced doubt was absurd. He stood firm, refusing to let her undermine him or his family. When a suggestion came, suddenly and without basis, that his family be moved to economy, something in Ethan snapped. It wasn't the move itself, nor the inconvenience it would cause. It was the underlying disrespect, the assumption that they didn't belong. He reached for his phone, his fingers brushing against the smooth surface. He didn't look at the screen as he typed a quick message. His focus was entirely on the exchange between Olivia and Samantha. It wasn't a threat. It was a statement, a declaration that this situation would not be allowed to escalate further. As murmurs around them grew louder, Ethan stood up, his posture unwavering. He wasn't going to let Samantha dismiss them, not after everything had been checked, confirmed, and verified. Then the captain arrived, and in that moment, everything changed.